You don't see his face, and that's the first thing that should bother you. A man stands on a cliff, looking out over a vast sea of fog. We're behind him. We don't know who he is. We don't know what he's thinking. And Caspar David Friedrich never lets us know. That omission is not accidental. It's the entire point. At first glance, this painting looks triumphant. A solitary figure, standing tall above the world, mastering nature through sheer will. That's how it's usually read. But look again. Really look. The man isn't towering over the landscape. He's trapped by it. The fog erases everything below him. No path, no destination, no sense of scale, just uncertainty. And suddenly, this isn't a painting about power. It's a painting about standing at the edge of the unknown. Caspar David Friedrich painted Wanderer above the sea of fog around 1818, at a moment when Europe was exhausted. The Napoleonic Wars had ended. Old certainties had collapsed. Faith, politics, identity, all shaken. People like to say Romanticism was about emotion and beauty. That's a shallow reading. Romanticism was about disorientation, and Friedrich understood that better than most. Notice the figure's posture. He's upright but stiff. His cane suggests movement, but he isn't moving. He's paused, suspended between having climbed and not knowing where to go next. This is not a man surveying conquered land. This is a man who has reached a height and realized that clarity doesn't come with altitude. The landscape doesn't open itself to him. It resists him. The rocks are jagged. The fog is thick. The mountains in the distance barely hold their shape, as if they could dissolve at any moment. Nature here isn't comforting. It's overwhelming. Friedrich believed that nature was a reflection of the inner self, not a backdrop, a mirror. So if the landscape feels unstable, it's because the mind standing before it is unstable too. And then there's the most unsettling choice of all. We are standing exactly where the painter wants us, right behind the wanderer. We aren't watching him, we are him. By hiding the man's face, Friedrich removes individuality. This is not a portrait, it's a psychological position. You don't observe the scene, you occupy it. And that's why the painting lingers. Because everyone eventually reaches a moment like this, a point where effort has brought them somewhere impressive, but not somewhere reassuring. A promotion, a revelation, a victory, a new beginning. And instead of answers, there's fog. Friedrich was deeply religious, but not in a conventional sense. He didn't paint biblical stories filled with action or certainty. He painted silence, stillness, waiting. For him, God wasn't found in clarity. He was found in humility before what cannot be fully understood. The wanderer doesn't raise his arms. He doesn't celebrate. He doesn't kneel. He simply stands there. And that restraint is brutal, because it denies the viewer emotional release. There's no resolution in this image, no message that everything will be fine, only the recognition that standing at the edge of uncertainty is part of being human. Even the composition reinforces this. The figure is placed slightly off-center. The horizon is broken. The fog interrupts continuity. Your eye searches for structure and fails, just like the wanderer. This is not a painting about discovering the world. It's about discovering the limits of certainty. And that's why it still works 2 centuries later. We live surrounded by information, maps, predictions, and promises of control. But the moment we stop moving, truly stop, the fog is still there. Friedrich doesn't tell us what the wanderer should do next. He doesn't offer guidance. He leaves us suspended in that moment. Because the question isn't what the man sees. The question is what you see when progress no longer guarantees meaning. And whether you're brave enough to stand there without pretending you understand it.